On the 24th of July, a company in Hangzhou posted a video of a machine climbing over broken rock, and by the end of the week, roughly 875,000 people had watched a single news clip about it. 5 days after that video went up, the United States government banned the company's robots from entering the country. That is the whole story, and it happened inside 1 week. The machine is called the A-S2W. Unitree named it the super athlete. And despite what half the internet assumed, it is not a humanoid. It has 4 legs, and at the end of each leg is a powered wheel. That sounds like a compromise. It is actually the point. A wheeled robot is efficient and fast on flat ground, and completely defeated by a staircase. A legged robot will walk over almost anything, and drain its battery doing it. The super athlete rolls when the ground is smooth and climbs when it isn't. The published figures are 16 kilograms of continuous payload, more than 30 kilometers of range unloaded, and speeds up to 6 meters per second. That last number is roughly a 4-minute mile pace, carried indefinitely over terrain. The part that matters is not in the spec sheet. Older 4-legged robots switched between movement modes the way a car switches gears. Engineers wrote a rule for rocks, a rule for stairs, a rule for flat ground, and the machine picked one. The super athlete was trained rather than programmed. It learned terrain through reinforcement learning, so it doesn't stop and change modes. It just keeps going. To understand how fast this is moving, go back exactly 1 year. In July of 2025, the clip everybody shared of a Unitree machine was their H1 humanoid, suspended from a crane, throwing its arms and legs violently enough to knock equipment over and send technicians backwards. It looked like a machine losing its mind. It wasn't.
The handler explained it afterwards. They ran a full-body control policy while the robot's feet weren't touching the ground. The machine was trying to walk on nothing, and it fought the air. A code error. That was 12 months ago. That is the distance being covered here. From a robot that couldn't be trusted off the floor to one that crosses a rockfall without breaking stride in a single year. Now the timeline, because the sequence is the story. On the 22nd of July, Unitree went commercial in Europe. The first Chinese-built humanoid sold into a Western commercial market. It is worth knowing exactly what they were selling. Their H2 humanoid stands 180 centimeters tall, weighs 70 kilograms, and moves through 31 degrees of freedom, including a 3-axis waist and a 2-axis neck, which is why the demo footage of it dancing and throwing kung fu forms looks so unsettlingly human. 360 newton meters of joint torque, 7 kilograms of payload continuously, 21 in a burst. The price is the part that should stop you. $29,900, listed on Unitree's own store. In North America, through their regional partner, $40,900. For comparison, Tesla's stated ambition for Optimus is a $20,000 to $30,000 machine, and Optimus is not shipping at volume yet. Unitree is already there, already selling, already profitable. A full-size humanoid robot now costs less than a mid-range pickup truck. That is the fact sitting underneath everything that happened next. On the 24th, the super athlete video went out and traveled everywhere. On the 29th, the Federal Communications Commission banned the import of Chinese-made humanoid robots, robot dogs, and power inverters into the United States. Read that gap again.
Again. 7 days from opening a Western market to being shut out of the largest one. The stated grounds were cybersecurity and national security. The concern being that these machines, which carry cameras, microphones, and network connections into homes, warehouses, and infrastructure, represent a supply chain vulnerability. Unitree was named, so were Huawei and SunGrow on the power inverter side. The scope matters, and most coverage skipped it. The rules took effect immediately, but they apply to models not yet authorized for sale in the United States. Products already approved stay legal, though the Commission kept the authority to revoke those approvals. So this is a door closing on what comes next, rather than a sweep of what is already inside. For context, the Pentagon had already added Unitree to a list of companies it alleges have ties to China's military. And Unitree had been working with NVIDIA, putting American chips into the brain of the robot. An American ban on a Chinese robot running American silicon is a reasonable summary of where the technology war actually is right now. Here is the part that makes this a market story rather than a news story. Unitree is going public. The China Securities Regulatory Commission approved a listing on Shanghai Star Market at the start of this month. The company's raising roughly 4.2 billion yuan, about $618 million, against an implied valuation near 6 billion. And unlike almost everyone in this industry, they make money. Roughly $235 million of revenue last year at about 60% gross margins. Profitable. Hold that next to the American comparison. Figure AI is privately valued at $39 billion on limited revenue. $6 billion for the profitable one, $39 billion for the one that hasn't shipped at scale.
Both numbers might be right. They are priced by completely different markets for completely different reasons. But when Unitree lists, this sector gets something it has never had. A real, public, daily marked price for a humanoid robotics company. Everything else in this space is currently valued by whoever led the last funding round. That benchmark arrives the same week America bans the company that sets it. And now the part that quietly undermines the whole ban. You cannot build a robot without high-torque actuators, and you cannot build high-torque actuators at competitive weight without rare earth permanent magnets, neodymium iron boron. A single humanoid needs somewhere around 3.5 to 4 kilograms of them. China controls roughly 69% of global rare earth mining and roughly 90% of the processing and refining that turns the raw material into a usable magnet. Mining is not the choke point. Refining is. This is not theoretical. Elon Musk has said publicly that magnet supply has constrained Optimus production. Tesla is dual sourcing harmonic drives, the precision gearboxes inside a robot joint, from a Japanese supplier and a Chinese one, and hunting for non-Chinese magnet sources. The economics keep pointing back to China. Meanwhile, China's domestic production rate for harmonic reducers is moving from about 55% last year toward a 70% target this year. So the United States can ban the finished robot. It has not banned and cannot easily replace the parts inside it. That tension is the entire investable question here. Everything so far is narrative. Now, the numbers. And the numbers disagree with the narrative in a way worth paying attention to. Everything from here is measured at Friday's close, the 31st of July. Nothing in this section is a recommendation. It is a watch list and the evidence behind it. If robots are the future, the robotics fund should be flying. They are not. The Humanoid Robotics Fund, KOID, is down about 11% on the month and sits 15% below its 52-week high. Bots down 7.5%, Robo down 7%, ARKQ down nearly 12 and 20% off its high. Over that same stretch, the S&P sits 1.4% from its own record. So the market is not selling stocks, it is selling robots specifically. It gets worse in the pure plays. Over 3 months, Serve Robotics down 49%, Rich Tech down 42%, USA Rare Earth down 42%, MP Materials down 37%, Symbotic down 27%, Intuitive Surgical down 23%, Tesla, the humanoid story most retail traders own, down 18.5%. That is the whole hype basket, and it is being liquidated while the story on the news has never been louder. So I screened 44 robotics and AI hardware names against rule set before looking at any of them, trading above both the 50-day and 200-day averages, within 12% of the 52-week high, and a 3-month return beating the S&P's 4.2%. Almost nothing with robot in its description passed. What passed? Makes bearings, actuators, motion control, machine vision, and factory automation. Timken, bearings, the thing every rotating joint turns on, up 24% over 3 months, 87% over 12, and sitting 5% from its high. Rockwell Automation, factory automation, the layer that actually deploys these machines, up 18% over 3 months, 3% from its high.
Cognex, machine vision, how a robot sees, up 18% over 3 months, 95 over 12. Siemens, industrial automation, and the strongest position on the board. It closed essentially at its 52-week high.
At its 52-week high. Not near it. At it. Honeywell, best 1-month move of the group at 9.5%, 6% from its high. Parker Hannifin, motion control, up 7.5 over 3 months, 4% from its high. The mildest of the group, and it still beat the index. Teledyne, imaging and sensors, and this one earns its place for a different reason than the rest. On returns, it is the mildest name here, up 1.5% over 3 months, sitting 5% off its high. But it is the only name in this entire group where volume actually expanded, the last 20 days running about 20% above its 90-day average. Everywhere else on this list, the move happened on quiet tape. Here, somebody was actually buying. One more as a warning rather than an idea. Moog makes precision actuators, and on returns, it is the best name on this entire board, up 30% over 3 months and 97% over 12. It also closed below its 50-day average. Best numbers, weakest position. That combination is not an entry. It is a stock that already made its move and is cooling off. Chasing that is how good research turns into a bad trade. 4 things argue against this, and you should hear them. First, Japan does not confirm it. If the logic were simply ban China, everyone else wins, then Fanuc and Yaskawa, who have built industrial robot arms for decades, would be leading. Fanuc is down 8% over 3 months. Yaskawa is down 17%. That is a real hole in the thesis, and I am not going to paper over it. Second, volume is not confirming. Nearly every name on that list has traded less over the last 20 days than its 90-day average. This is a quiet grind higher, not an accumulation breakout. Teledyne was the only trend name with genuine volume expansion. Third, none of these are pure plays. Timken, Honeywell, Parker, and Siemens are enormous, diversified industrials. Robotics is real exposure, but a slice, not the whole business. If you want a clean bet on humanoids, this list is not it. And frankly, the clean bets are the ones down 40%. Fourth, this screen measures trend and momentum only. No valuation, no earnings dates. An earnings print underneath an open position is an unpriced trap, and checking the calendar is on you before anything else. So here is where the Uriel framework leaves us. The story is the humanoid. The strength is in the joint. A viral video sold the future this week, and the tape quietly bought bearings, vision systems, and motion control instead, and did it without volume, which means this is a lean, not a conviction trade. Risk stays at 1%, the same as always, and levels come before stories. If China's best robot company is barred from the largest market in the world in the same week it prints the first honest public price for the entire sector, then the question stops being who builds the best robot. It becomes who's allowed to sell it, and who gets paid regardless of the answer. This is education, not financial advice. Numbers as of Friday's close.